Welcome back to another episode here of the Whiskey Wisemen. We've got a special podcast here today.
All right.
We've got Money Mike and Dr. Joe, and we are going to talk Orphan Barrel. We've got two good ones here to try. We've got the Twisted Tongue, which is 16 year, and we've got the Fanged Pursuit. Wow. So we're going to see what this Bobcat's all about. It is 17.
And if you stick with us through the whole episode, we got a special shout out to our listeners.
That's right.
Yeah.
Big surprise at the end. Thanks to all of you listening and commenting. And but yeah, welcome in. How you guys been doing?
Another day, another dollar. You know.
Yeah, another day, another penny. They say.
Good. I had a good day today, man.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah.
Worked. Had a good day.
You know, they say if work's fun, what's the phrase? You never work a day in your life or something like that?
Yeah. It feels like
if you love what you do, you never work a day in your
life. That's what it is. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah. And I honestly feel that way, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I love what I do. I mean, yeah, from time to time there's...
I mean, I feel that way too. I'm definitely grateful that I get to do my passion and the thing that I like. But yeah, like you said, different challenges, tribulations, things like that. But overall, like, I'm real happy with what I get to do.
100%. What about you, man?
Oh, depends on the day and depends on who I'm dealing with.
Today's not a good day for a job.
Today's not a good day, but
we'll ask next week.
Yeah.
What is it? Tomorrow's another day. But tonight we are going to we're going to take a little dive into the Orphan Barrel here, which a lot of us and probably a lot of you guys aren't real familiar with Orphan Barrel. They float around. I think that they are a kind of a unique distillery because I think they source most of their barrels. A lot of these are blended. They have a Scotch line, I think, like a single malt line, and then of course the bourbon is what we're going to talk about tonight here. I said Twisted Tongue. It's actually Copper Tongue.
Copper Tongue. Yep.
I got a little excited there.
What do we know about that bottle?
Well, I can read you what it says. I'm actually not a huge. I don't think I've had either one of these, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
we just got them. We just got them.
I've seen them. I know that there's quite a few. I think some of their names are kind of funny, right? Mm-hmm. Like the Muckety Muck and all those ones. I don't think I've had any of them, to be honest. So this one here says aged 16 years, cask strength, distilled and bottled in Tullahoma. Where the hell is that?
Is that in Tennessee?
I don't know. It says Tullahoma. But this says hand bottled with pride in Tullahoma. But this also says bottled by Orphan Barrel Whiskey Distilling, Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah.
So their mission is, from what I understand, to go and find basically old barrels that other distillers, in the ages past have sort of just left behind and bottle those up. So these tend to have a much higher age statement, right?
Yeah, this one's 16 years.
Yeah, the other one is, I think, is 17. Fanged Pursuit.
And this says it is cask strength, but it's only 89 proof.
So what's up with that?
I thought was pretty unique. I don't know. I'm kind of interested here to see. Give a big shout out to my buddy Zach who hooked us up with this bottle on a kind of a bottle swap. I think he'd had it for a little bit. And kind of hooked us up with that. So it's
got a pretty distinct smell.
Yeah,
it does. Ooh, this label. And we'll zoom in during so you guys can see it. But it's kind of cool if you look at the. Now that I'm looking at the label here, it's actually a snake around a column still. Look at that. I don't know if you noticed that.
Like a copper steel.
Yeah,
that is cool.
That's kind of cool. And then it's got the barrel there dumping in like the river or lake or whatever that is.
Yeah,
and it's got some legs on it.
It's kind of cool. Oh shit, sorry, that's my phone. Let me turn that off.
I feel like it doesn't smell like you said 17 or no 16.
There's something in the end of that, and I can't tell. I can't tell if it's like nutty. My nose is all up in there, bro.
I don't love the smell. I gotta be honest.
It's kind of like the end is like it's not earthy. It's like
Well, this could be one of the unique times that we you don't like the way it smells, but you like the way it tastes.
Well, actually, it is one of those. It does taste actually
good?
pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't mind the smell so much.
I think the taste is a lot better than the smell, for sure.
The smell is very unique, but I can't.
Yeah, the nose has got.
It's either something in the end. It's either some kind of nut. I feel like.
You're right. There is. I don't know what that is.
Right. It's not like a cashew or anything, but maybe like a. I don't know. It seems very not like Jack nutty, but.
Yeah. I like it. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Can I see the bottle?
Yeah.
Dude, that's good.
That's pretty good, right?
That is a good one.
And I feel like it does drink like a, what is that, 90 proof, you said?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
It's just smooth. It feels good. Coats the mouth.
Yeah, I feel like I think it's good. I think the finish is a little lacking.
And it doesn't stick around.
It's like, gotcha, and then it's over. It's kind of like a little, somebody was trying to tickle me, but then they just kind of
quit.
They quit.
I did have the muckety muck before I was ever even into.
When did you have that?
It was a poker game, and I would drink like whiskey and stuff, but I wasn't like, I didn't know anything about what I was drinking, and I was at a poker game, and we're all just drinking like makers and all the basic stuff that you drink, and then this guy reaches down he had a backpack and he pulls that muckety muck bottle out, and I was like, oh, cool bottle. I didn't know it was like I didn't know what Orphan Barrel was or anything, and he's like, this is a very expensive. He was very protective of it. He's like, this is a very expensive bottle, but you want a lick? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So he pours me some of it.
Want a lick?
But it is interesting because at that moment, like when I tasted it, like qualitatively better than all the crap that we were drinking. Like now, if I went back to it, I'm not sure how it would compare to some of this because as you drink more and better stuff, your taste evolves. But at the time, though, I remember going to like Total Wine and seeing it because they have it locked up, and I was like, oh, that was a good bottle.
Yeah.
But
and I do think that some of these Orphan Barrel releases are kind of limited runs. Like I think maybe they're only going to be a one-time release. I think that's what they talked about with the Fanged Pursuit is that it's going to be kind of here and gone. They have some other offerings. I think there's a Rhetoric and Barter House that they've kind of a couple different releases, and I noticed here on the Copper Tongue that it doesn't say that it is going to be kind of a single one-time release. So maybe this is something that's going to we're going to see from year to year or every 2 years, kind of how they got it set up.
Yeah, and you don't see these bottles very often when you go into stores.
Not in the state of Florida. Yeah. You don't see them very often at all. This the Fanged Pursuit is probably the first one mass kind of.
Yeah, it showed up at Costco down here.
Yeah, showed up at Costco, which is crazy.
A lot of them too.
Yeah,
they had like a couple cases.
Yeah. Yeah, showing up at Costco is pretty wild. Fanged Pursuit, I think. I ended up getting it locally here in Central Florida, but the Costco, I think in Daytona had it, and a couple other places, which is is very unusual
because they're basically putting it MSRP at that point.
Yeah, it's a great price. I think it was $165, and to some it may be like, oh man, that's high as a cat's back. You know what I'm saying? But for me,
some of your phrases, as high as a cat's back.
Yeah, I'm just
saying.
But
cat's backs are only high when they're scared.
Well, I was scared. I was scared when I went to pay for it.
You were scared.
Yeah, I was scared. I was like, is this credit card going to work? Is it going to work?
And we've seen them as high as like $3.99. We've seen some crazy prices on these.
Absolutely. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good pour. The Copper Tongue.
I agree.
Overall,
I find it's pretty good.
Yeah, it kind of.
I don't love the smell though. I got to be honest.
But I don't love the smell, but the taste does remind me of like an older, more mature Elmer T. Lee, in a way. It's got a little bit of that sweetness, but it kind of feels like if I was 16-year-old and I was full of piss and vinegar. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Elmer sticks around a little longer.
Well, it may because it's it's.
It's about the same proof. Elmer's 90-ish, right?
The taste though just sticks around a little longer.
Yeah, this one, it's for me, it's really good. Then you get like that weird nutty or whatever that taste is, and then it goes away. But it is good. I mean, it's very good. It's very different. I can't think of anything that I can be like, oh, that's a lot like this.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's unique, and I think that's what makes it special. Is that if you want to have something like what we're doing here, we're talking about it and kind of comparing it to other things. I think it's fantastic, and I think that's what Orphan Barrel was shooting for, a unique experience, and I think they knocked it out with this one. Yeah, absolutely, sure. Absolutely. I mean, speaking of unique experiences, I think Mike, Money Mike, has a great story about the uniqueness of participation trophies. And
we're talking about participation trophies tonight.
Yep.
Well, not the whole time. I want to tell my story because
you are a good storyteller.
I mean, I don't know why it always happens to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand.
You're like a living book, Mike.
I don't know if I have the face. I don't know. It's funny because half the people that I meet tell me that I'm I guess intimidating is the word they use because I'm tall.
Well, you're
like
I'm a big
6'8".
You
I'm
got
not 6'8". But yeah, like they say, oh, you're intimidating, so you whatever, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm like that at all. But then some other people are like, oh, you're like one of the nicest guys ever. Which whatever.
No, but that is true. The second part is true.
Yeah.
But you got to think like first impression wise, like what do I look like?
I get that. But so my story today is actually it was a relay from an older story that happened. But I was telling the story to somebody, and they called me all sorts of names, and I don't even know that
They thought you were mean, but they were being mean to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now that I think about it, I mean, I probably was a little mean, but look, okay, so let me tell a story, and then we can talk about it, if you guys are cool with it.
Yeah, tell us how you feel.
So today I went to a place. I can't say where because I don't want to, whatever, right? Yeah. But I went to a place, and I got into a conversation about parenting, about kids, right? Mm-hmm. I have 2 kids. I have a 15-year-old boy about to be 16, literally in a few weeks, and I have a girl that's 13. This story is about my boy. My boy used to play baseball. When he played for like 2 years when he was, I don't know, he was young. He was like maybe, I don't know, 7, right? I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And he wanted to play baseball, so, we went to one of those, whatever kind of not recreational, but because it was somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
Like they had like, playoffs and whatever, mm-hmm. right? So it wasn't like a YMCA.
Yeah, play for fun.
Everybody plays, even the bench play. Like this one was kind of organized.
Yeah.
A little bit better. And so he played that for 2 years. And the first year, him and his team, right? He played outfield, and they didn't win a single game, like a single game. And I'm talking, they probably played 30-something games.
Wow.
Right? Like 30, 40-something games. They didn't win a single game. Yeah. Not one game. And at the end of the season, they had like the banquet, like what most sports have. Mm-hmm. They had a banquet, and every single kid got a trophy.
What did the trophy have on it?
It was like a little, like the little baseball guy like this. I mean, it was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10 inches tall.
Yeah, it was definitely probably $15 or $20 trophy, right?
So, I mean, so let's cut there, and let me tell you the story about how I was raised. But I'll make it really short. So my dad was in the Army, and I was born in the early 80s, and I feel like parenting back then was way different. And you guys can probably agree with me.
Parenting evolves. Yeah.
I don't know about how your parents were, and I don't want to get into that if you were or not. But my parents were very strict with me. Like, I mean, if you got a trophy, you had to earn it, and just everything from like good grades to like all that. Like, mm-hmm. I got my ass whooped when I was a kid, right? Like a lot because I was a bad kid apparently. So, fast forward now to this. So I'm thinking of what my parents would do, right? Yep. My parents have both passed, and I'm like, so it's not like I can ask them, be like, hey, what would you do, and just kind of get their input. I was just kind of flying by what I thought was the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. So my son gets home, and he's got this little trophy, and I'm like, you know where that's going, right? And he's like, what are you talking about?
He was like, on my shelf in my room, Daddy.
And I said, I said, absolutely not. That trophy is going in the trash. Mm-hmm. And I made him throw it away. Mm. And
how's he doing now?
Great. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion. So, I made him throw it away, and I'll tell you why. Because, in my opinion, and again, he's my kid, and I don't want to say I do what I want, because obviously I can't, but I felt like him and his team did not earn that trophy. Mm-hmm. They just didn't. And I felt like that was one of the times that I had to, it was like one of those like lesson times, right? And I was like, look, you didn't earn this trophy. You didn't win a single game. And in my opinion, the only people who get trophies are first, second, and third place. Look at the Olympics. Look at all these other sports. Look at championships of whatever sport you want to look at.
Yep.
Last place doesn't get a trophy.
They don't.
Only like first and second, maybe. Most of the time it's first place. Not even second.
Yeah.
So I feel like telling these kids that you can be mediocre and just fly by the seat of your pants and not even try, and you're going to get a trophy, I think that that's wrong. And I told him to throw it away, and yeah, he cried and whatever. But he's fine now. He got over it. And now I use that as like, look, dude, remember. And now I feel like, he's always gotten good grades. But I feel like now it's kind of not because of that. It's, I feel like parenting, it's an overall thing, right? It's not just like one thing. It's like an overall thing. But that's how I've parented my kids my whole life.
Yeah.
Like that's a short example. So I told that story to somebody today, fast forward to today, and that person called me all sorts of names. They told me that I shouldn't have kids, that my kids should be taken away from me, that how dare I do that to my kid, and that I scarred my kid for life, and like all this and that. And I'm like,
yeah, I would have told them. I said, yeah, I scarred them for life to know they got to work their butt off to get anything in this world, and it's not going to be given to them. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's the interesting part to me about that story is not the first part, right? It's like, hey, you're going to parent how you're going to parent, right? But did you ask him? Did you say, so based on that story, how good of a parent do you think I am?
Well, I didn't say that, but at the end of it, because I was like, well, what? And I wasn't gonna like fight him or anything, but
he said all that before you asked for his advice.
Well, no, I just at the end, how when he said all those names and said,
that's
oh, you shouldn't, whatever. At the end of that, I said, and as I was walking away, I said, well, when my kid gets old enough to get a job and he takes the job that your kid wants, don't come crying to me.
What I said. So what I'm getting at is, I think in this. Another thing that's different about parenting than like back when we were being brought up that I think is really fascinating is like and maybe I just didn't notice it. I could ask my parents about this, but like because of social media and because there's like all these websites on like how to parent and all this stuff, like I feel like there's so much like one, social comparison, but then two, like let me tell you how to raise your kids, right? Like. And it's not just with this example; it's with like everything from like the debate over like should I exclusively breastfeed my kids or not, right? Like and you can go all the way through all the stages of development around like what's best for my kid, and it just creates a lot of like I'm gonna raise my kid how I'm gonna raise my kid, and
yeah.
But I think it's interesting when people unsolicited will be like, well, you should do this with your kid,
yeah.
And you're like. Do you know my circumstance? Do you know why I'm raising my kid the way that I am? Do you know what lessons I'm trying to teach them? That's the part that gets me is like, look, I have a lot of thoughts about how people raise their kids. I don't necessarily share those thoughts with them, right? Because that's not my business, and I don't know the context. I don't know the history. I don't know a lot of it, right? But I just feel like people will like, I think it's weird when people ask me about my own parenting decisions. Like, well, why did you do that? And it's like, well, I don't ask you why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that's where it should stop.
It's different if someone asks, like they're like, oh, I'm really struggling with this, and this, right? Like, what do you think I should do?
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, do you want my thoughts on that? But it's like, for you to tell that story and then them to just be like, well, you're this, and that. It's like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and I mean, I was raised so competitive. Like, I played Division I college volleyball. Like, I played volleyball since I was 7 years old. So, like, it's not like I don't have a basis of, understanding competition.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say is, I mean, I played sports growing up all the way through, and, you learned, if you don't work hard, you don't put the time in, you're going to lose. And, it wasn't like, well, you put a good effort in, so we're just going to go ahead and give this to you. It was none of that. And I think that, when you trained and you would go to practice and you would live it, and you go in and you try to compete and do all this stuff, and then, if you lost, it was more like, suck it up, Buttercup.
Mm-hmm.
Work harder if you want to win. You miss that shot at the end of the game, you need to practice 1,000 shots that you're ready the next time the opportunity comes up. It wasn't, I think there's too much of this that is just we are trying to, I don't know. I really don't know the words. I don't know if it's like pacify a generation, but there has to be a process.
Counter thoughts. You guys ready?
Yeah,
Do you think it's possible that what you think a participation trophy means something different to different people? Because, see, the way you two are describing it is you're saying participation trophy means you can not work hard and you still get a trophy, even though you didn't win, right? But is it possible that the alternative meaning for some could be you can work hard and you can work as hard as you can work and you could still lose? Because that's the truth. You can work really hard and be the team that loses at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So to your point, you said, well, it's all about if you work hard and you do this, then you'll win. That's not true. You can work really hard and you can shoot 1,000 shots and you could still lose the NBA championship.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you deserve a trophy.
Well, it's not about whether you deserve it or not. My point is, we're talking about lessons here, right? And I think, that's a great lesson you can learn. Well, if you just work hard enough and you compete hard enough, then you'll be a winner. Mm-hmm. Except that's not 100% of the time the truth.
I mean, that part I agree with. That part I agree with. But look, if my son would have lost the championship game and he got a second place trophy, I'd be like, fuck, for sure.
So for you, it's a gradient of participation trophies. So technically, what I'm hearing is you are okay with a participation trophy. You weren't okay with that one.
But second place is not participation trophy.
Well, it is. You didn't win.
Place.
Did you win? Does the second place get a ring?
Sometimes.
Win the second place.
Yeah. It's kind of like somebody told me like they gave out rings to UCF.
Yeah.
That's because UCF beat was the only undefeated team in Division I football. They also have a national championship banner in their stadium. They
beat every Division II team they played.
We did not. No, and every Division I team that we played. You're right, John.
Well, that you played, not all. But anyway,
we played Auburn, who beat Alabama that year.
That is true.
So we deserved it. You're UCF fans.
I am. I am UCF fan.
Hey, what did he say? I'm just counterpoint here.
Yeah.
Counterpoint.
I mean, I'm just saying. I think what I'm getting at is this, right? Like, I think it's a more complicated issue than that, because I do think there's a component of like, yes, I want my child to compete and work hard and learn what it takes to win and to do well. And then there's also a part that's like, I also want my child to know that sometimes you can do all that. It still might not work out, but what's important is that you tried really, really hard.
Yeah.
That's the point.
No, I agree with that.
Now, should you get a trophy for that? Debatable. I don't know that I have a side on that. I don't really. It's a trophy. But I'm just saying, like, that is perhaps that's the point. I think.
I think the way that I took it in terms of what it is that just like you say, hey, you may work hard and you may not win. There is a truth to that, but the reality is that without hard work, I guess there's no expectation, right? Because if you're not going to work hard, you
don't get trophies for doing nothing.
Yes,
correct.
Exactly. So if you do nothing, you should not be rewarded for doing nothing.
Yeah. So
right?
then the debate becomes like, how hard did you think they tried, and did they do everything they could? Like,
yeah.
Right? And again, I think the idea is like we instill all these lessons in our kids in different ways. And it doesn't just come down to this, but like when it comes to grades, like we talk about that too, of like, hey, if you do, poorly on a test, like, did you try your hardest? Were you studying? Were you putting all your effort in? And so I don't know. That's how I kind of look at that. But
well, and
parenting is hard. It doesn't come with a book, right? That's the thing.
I agree. And what's interesting?
But it does come with a lot of family judgment.
Why does your family judge you?
Oh, Myrtle Dean, let me tell you.
Myrtle Dean.
Hey, I remember when when Hayden was born, and everybody and their brother had
They got
an opinion.
a lot of ideas about
Oh man,
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, I would never do that with my kid. You know, there's no way.
But of course you asked them, right? You said, "Can you tell me what I should do here?"
Yeah,
That's the part that gets me. Of like, I didn't ask you.
Yeah, but thanks for your,
unsolicited advice.
Exactly. But then what's funny is that life happens, right? Just like, and then they have kids, and then everything they said, I would never let my kid do that. They're 3 times worse than any of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, it just makes you think, like, exactly, like, it's all about interpretation and how it is, and you don't know until you're living it, and you're raising kids, and you're
right. Everybody does it different, and it doesn't mean I'm doing it right or wrong, or you're doing it right or wrong, or you're doing it right or right. It's just, every person's situation is different.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, absolutely.
What's up next, guys?
You ready for this Fanged Pursuit?
I'm ready for a little Fanged Pursuit here.
Little bobcat or whatever that is on there?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a bobcat. That's my bobcat sound here. Probably sounds.
A bobcat.
That's what it says. I read on there. It says a bobcat. It said it's like, I don't know. It sneaks up on you like a bobcat or something like that. I don't know.
I think you just made that up, John.
No, I read it.
Let me see.
Let me see what it says.
At Orphan Barrel, we pride ourselves in
on
rescuing lost barrels of rare and delicious whiskeys, hidden away for long forgotten in storehouses.
Yeah, so it says...
Well, I think that's true for all of them, though.
Yeah, so it says here for the Fanged Pursuit, it said this is influenced by the untamed spirit of Kentucky bourbon's heartland. This 17-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey embodies the elusive yet daring nature of its namesake, the Bobcat.
Oh.
It says the Bobcat's stealthy and deliberate movements reflect the aging process of this bourbon, unfolding with deliberate and measured precision and a deep connection to its surroundings to reach its fullest potential.
Who do you think writes these?
I don't know. That's exactly what I was going to say, Joe. It's like, man, I need them to write up my resume.
Your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hook up my LinkedIn or my resume because, man, I'll be getting a job anywhere.
You made this bottle sound great.
Yeah, I was like, woo. What are we
doing
really
here? Be bad if it doesn't taste good. It'll be like, well, you made it sound a lot better than it tasted.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Now this one does have a little bit better color, I think. It's a little darker.
It's a little older.
And a little older. Yep, 1 year older. And the biggest thing for me when I first looked at this one and poured it, it is extremely, extremely oily. And so for me, when you look at it in the glass and it's like you can just see that it's, I don't know if they call that viscosity or whatever on the.
Is that every time, Mike? That's like a thing that you do in every episode.
Because I try to turn it. I try to give it
while it's in a big wave.
Swirl and it always like pisses on me. But this one, that smells totally different.
Yeah, yes, it does. That's got a great nose. It's got a great nose on this one.
I feel like you think it's darker? I don't feel like it's darker.
I feel like it is. Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe I'm just, I don't know.
But it is fantastic.
Smells
fantastic
awesome.
Nose.
Yeah, it does smell awesome. What's the proof on that
one? 92.
It's a good one. Delicioso. That's good.
Mm. That's better than.
Agreed.
Yep. Yeah, it's better than the tongue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Better
That's
than
really
the tongue.
Good.
Wow. Look out, world.
Man, those legs are oily, man. Look at that. Look at it coming down.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Dude, yeah, that's crazy.
We're speechless.
Yeah, dude.
That's
amazing.
That's extremely good. I mean, I don't. There's
Woo.
nothing. I don't have anything negative to say about it. To be honest with you, it's like.
I mean, it's still lingering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sticks around for a bit.
It's a great overall mouthfeel and just a.
Can you pick up any note on this? What do you think? I know you said you're bad with notes, but what do you
I'm
think?
terrible with notes, man. The note I get is good. It tastes good.
He's like, the note I get is good.
Delicious.
I got a little bit of oak.
I was gonna say oak too. Man, I should have said it before you.
Yeah, a little bit of oak.
It's definitely oak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 17-year-old.
But oak's an easy guess.
And maybe a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of leather there towards the back. Just a little tint.
Yeah,
I feel like it tastes a little hotter than it is.
Yeah, but it's got some kind of floral. Like I feel like where that one is really nutty, I feel like this one is a little bit more like sweet and like not fruity, but florally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of like that movie American Beauty. You ever seen that one?
I've never seen that.
Oh man, something about those when you say floral.
Who's in that?
Kevin Spacey and
how old is that movie?
No,
it's
he's
old.
He's a bit controversial, huh?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he go to jail? Was that what we went to jail, right?
I don't.
Or is
think
he still
so.
in a trial?
I don't know. I don't think he went to jail, did he? I mean, he may have. I don't know. I don't keep up with that too much.
Dude, this is good.
Really good. I was surprised.
Man, I almost want to go back to. Well, this one's yours theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's go to
Costco.
Yeah. They had them Sunday. They still had 6.
Yeah.
Like a couple days ago.
Yes, I should have bought one now that I know how good it is.
Dude.
Yeah.
For 160, 65?
Yeah, it was 160.
How many times have we heard Dr. Joe say,
Listen,
"Man, this is good. I should have bought that."
Listen, don't even get me
okay,
started.
okay.
Can we tell the story about?
No, hang on.
He's getting mad.
Hang on.
Look.
No, I'm not mad. No, I'm not mad. But let's be honest. How many times have we heard Dr. Joe buy it and then be like, "Ooh, that's no good."
That is true. But can we tell the Knob 18 story real quick?
I still don't.
I
Have
feel like
I still don't have a knob 18.
Yep.
Can we-
I have a knob 12, knob 15.
That's a
no
great
knob
transition to this.
Dude, can we talk about that Knob 18 story, just real quick?
Tell it, Mike. You're the storyteller.
I mean, it's his story, but I'll tell it. We were in Miami going on a cruise, and we went 2 days before, and we stayed at Airbnb to be down there, whatever, blah blah. And we had a great time. It was awesome. It was a great time.
One of the best experiences.
Yeah,
good and bad that I've ever had.
Yeah,
interesting.
Except that John's mouth got fingered by a stranger, and we'll talk about that later
on another
too.
episode, maybe.
But yeah, so we were in Miami, and we went a bunch of liquor stores. Everywhere we go to liquor stores. Went to a liquor store, and I actually got a Bland's Gold store pick at that store too. Remember that?
That's true. Yeah.
But anyway, so they had Knob 18, and it was like. Was $200, $189?
No,
or
it was like $179.
Yeah,
$179, it was like, which is MSRP.
Yeah, it was like $179, and we're both like.
They had one to tell the story. That store had like Pappies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
behind the counter.
Stuff. Yeah,
where this was on the shelf.
Yes,
and it was right next to where the rest of the knob stock was.
Yes,
and we just noticed sitting, and it wasn't even facing forward; it was on its side. Remember?
Yeah,
and it had just been sitting there, and there was one left.
It was $179. And me and John told Joe, dude, because he likes Knob Creek. I mean, we all like Knob Creek, but you like it too. Yeah. And we're like, dude, you should get it. And then he goes, well, I don't know, man. I was like,
we're getting on a cruise.
Yeah, we're getting on a cruise. Maybe,
yeah.
We had our own car there, so you could have left it in the car. I left my Blanton's Gold in the car, and it was fine. Anyway, so.
Because I was worried about that too. I was like, the heat,
Yeah, no, that's. So he says no. And then he goes, well, I can probably find it cheaper somewhere else, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, fast forward, went to a bunch of stores after that, and we saw $250, $299, $350, all this crazy stuff. And we're like, dude, we told you should have got it, whatever, blah, blah. Anyway, so fast forward another 6 months. Mm-hmm. I saw it at another place for $180, $179, $180.
Yep.
And after that whole, in the interim of that, he told us, hey, if you ever see it again, for MSRP, just buy it. I swear, I want it. I'll get it. Blah blah.
180 is not MSRP.
Okay, so I hit him up. I found it at a store for $179, $189.
That's higher than MSRP.
And I texted him, and he goes, "Nah, I'm good." I was like, "What the? What are you talking about?"
Hang on though. To flash back to the story, John said to me, "Oh, that's MSRP." But you know how it goes when John tells you something's a good price. So in my head, I was like, that's probably a $150 bottle.
But $169.
I looked it up. It is $179 is
Yeah.
I think MSRP for that. So or near MSRP.
Yeah, and he still doesn't have one.
Yeah. Well, it always comes at the worst time, you know, like in terms of where it shows up, and it's like, oh, I just bought another bottle. You know, you got to like budget. You know, this is an expensive hobby. So.
It is. It's extremely expensive hobby. You know, and that's the thing is like you see people with great collections. It literally takes years and years and years. Or in Mike's case, it takes about 10 months. 10 solid months.
Listen, guys, I don't know what happened or I mean, I know how it happened, but so if you know anything about me, again, going by the story I just told about my son, I'm extremely competitive. Not that this was a competition between us, but
we should play the background music. All I do is win.
Yeah. If I do anything in my life, if it's not 110%, to me it's like why it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we've told the story before about how I started drinking whiskey at your house or bourbon.
Yeah.
But also, this is just interrupt. This is why me and John feel so privileged to be your friend, because we're like, Mike only goes after the best, and all he does is win, and he chose us to be his friend.
That's right.
Well, you guys are great friends, so let's put that out there. But so we've already told a story about how we started with Elijah Craig 18 and blah blah whatever. So after that, I start, you know, I go in deep, man. Like I do all the research. I get into a bunch of Facebook groups. I start hunting like every single store. I travel a lot.
Meet every liquor store owner.
Dude, I went to every single liquor store in town, met them, asked them how they do the allocated stuff. Like, I mean, I went hard. Like, let's just say that, hard. I went from a floating shelf with like 4 bottles. Like,
it was almost like we put a shelf up one week. The very next week, we had to put another shelf up.
And then you had to hire a professional.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I ordered shelves because, you know, I'll probably never fill these. 3 weeks later, I got a guy coming to do the custom wall.
Yeah.
Then he had to buy a new house. No.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I got the shelves made like floor to ceiling, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I'll never fill this. And most of this stuff here was like all the extras that I had. And it was it's been pretty intense. But I'll tell you this though. We've met a lot of great people.
We have.
We've made a lot of great friendships.
We've learned a lot of great things.
Learned a lot of things about the industry and all that kind of stuff. And you guys will get to see it eventually when we bring liquor store owners here and friends and people from bourbon societies and all that kind of stuff. And you'll get to see the kind of caliber of people that are into this. And they're usually very professional, laid back, and they're just great.
They
people.
really are. Like, I mean, and we're gonna do an episode on this at some point of us. You know, they'll do these overnight, these morning drops, and if you want to get anything good, you got to be at the front of the line. So we've joked about it a couple of times, I think, on some prior episodes about waiting overnight in line, and we're gonna do those some more and film them. But I did comment to you all before that those lines get pretty lengthy, right? But people are moving in and out of them, chatting, stuff like that in the morning. But one thing that has always resonated with me is, I mean, these people, everybody's there for some good stuff, right? Like it's like Black Friday, basically.
Yeah.
But what's not like Black Friday is that it's not like people are pushing each other to get in the store. They're not, saying, "Oh, you cut my spot in line." Everybody's just super nice, super cool. Once the store's about to open, you move back into wherever you were in line. Nobody says, "Ooh, I'm gonna get in front of you because I want, whatever."
The camaraderie is.
Yeah, it's a great community of people where it really isn't about, let me barrel you over so that I can get in there and get the best bottle or whatever. And I think that there's a lot to be said about that.
I always let anybody that's there in line and they're like, hey, we came for the Eagle Rare. I always let them go in front of me.
Even if it's an Eagle Rare 17.
Yeah, even if it's Eagle Rare 17, it's like, man, if this guy likes Eagle Rare, I better put him to the front of the line here.
No, John gets in there. Hey, we should tell that one. No, John gets in there, and then he looks at what everybody's been waiting in line all night for, and he asks the owner, "Do you got anything like in the back? I don't like any of this stuff." And literally goes back and
he
gets
got-
in the back and gets something that nobody else gets.
Sure enough. I mean, it does help to spend thousands of dollars there a year. That's for sure. Dude, we almost forgot. Do you guys want to talk about this on this one?
What is it?
What we did last weekend?
Oh,
Well, honestly, I don't know. We might have to save that for another one now.
yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But just as a little teaser,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see him.
You got it in the shot.
It's in the shot.
But these little toesies here got a little treatment on
all,
them.
all six of the feet here.
Yeah.
You know?
Holy
We all
crap.
got a deal there, and it
And
was
for me and Mike, it was our first time getting a pedicure. So
yeah.
First time ever pedicure. That'll
we did it
be
for you
on the
all.
next-
We did it for you all.
That'll be on the next episode. We'll and we filmed the whole thing too, so you guys can.
I mean,
you
John
can
did it for
snip
himself, but he was trying to convince us,
Yes.
and we said, "Well, we'll do it for the podcast."
Well, yeah. So how it started was I shouldn't tell the story because that's part of the thing.
yeah, just say
But
it.
anyway, yeah.
Anyway, stay tuned.
Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
stay
Yeah,
tuned.
It is a good. It's a good story. We got some great video, and
I haven't looked at the video yet.
yeah, I'm
I don't think any of us have.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
That's
good.
crazy.
I'm sure it's good.
Well, sorry to say that. I thought I didn't think that was for.
No, we'll
Yeah,
get
that's
there.
gonna be for
We'll
the
get
No,
there.
it's great, man. Yeah, looking forward to that one. I mean, we're doing a lot of new stuff. We're trying some, just getting it out there. I mean, this is episode 4 or 5 ish that we're gonna have. So
And
more
tell,
to come.
tell us what you want, and we'll get it on here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you guys. Which is this a good transition, Mike? You still got quite a bit there, buddy.
Dude.
Yeah, I was thinking, did we have a comment? Somebody was asking about
We did.
chicken cock and something else.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yes.
because we asked listeners about having someone who may not be into whiskey.
Yeah. So yeah, we can
I
answer
can
that.
read the comment.
We can answer that question now. I feel like it'd be fairly
You
simple.
want me to read it?
Obviously, that person listens, and we can email that person too. But obviously, they listen and they watch, so we can answer it here.
I'll tell you all what it says here. All right. It says, big tequila and gin fan. Rum is acceptable in some drinks. Haven't found a whiskey, bourbon, rye, Irish, Canadian, or Scotch that I enjoy. Works at a liquor store and usually recommends people to grab Blade and Bow or Chicken Cock, but I really don't know because I don't personally enjoy them. So, what do you think of those as starters?
Well, John, I'll let John as the house expert start.
I mean, I will say I've never had Chicken Cock, but Blade and Bow, I know I was at that poker tournament. They had that as one of the prizes.
Yeah.
And of the other bottles, you said it was
I think
decent
we've had
bottle.
chicken
I
cock.
think didn't we buy
Did
that
I?
Blade and
Oh,
Bow?
maybe.
I think we did. Yeah.
Well, Blade and Bow, yeah. Like,
We've had chicken cock though.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I was going to recommend something, I think you would start out with the easy drinkers. Honestly, I would go for the Benchmark, the
Top floor?
Yeah, the top floor Benchmark or the Foolproof would be a good one. I mean, sometimes that's a little high proof, but
Yeah, top floor is less. It's
yeah,
like
I mean,
90 something.
if Buffalo Trace is available, sometimes Wild Turkey 101 is a little harsh for people to start with, just because
Yeah.
they gotta build up to it. But I was trying to think. Old Granddad Bottled and Bond is a good one.
I think Henry McKenna is a good one.
Yeah, well, McKenna,
It's a bottle and bond, so it's 100 proof. It's not too bad.
it's not too bad.
It's oaky.
You think it's a
though,
little
so-
pricey?
a little pricey.
Because it's
Yeah,
what, like
$70,
70?
yeah.
yeah, I think if you look at like Old Granddad Bottled and Bond, I think it's maybe $20 or something like that. And to me, it's a great one. Honestly, now that we know what we know, Redwood Empire.
Yes. Is it Pipe Dream?
Pipe
the red
Dream,
red label.
that is
Yeah.
a great $30.
Although Pipe Dream cast strength is.
Dude,
Yeah.
Another one that's really good that we do have. Well, I mean, there's a couple that I feel like. Well, go ahead and you finish.
Yeah,
yours,
no,
I'll say mine.
I'm good. Yeah, jump into it. I mean, those are just some ones that I would probably, if we're talking about price point and value for the money, I think those are
So
some
what
of the
you
top
think
ones
for a
that come to
starter,
mind.
the price point you're looking for is like $30 to $50 bottle?
I think $20 to $30 because I think the realistic side is if somebody was a vodka drinker or a rum
Well, they
drinker,
said gin. They said gin and tequila, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of those bottles are going to be $20 to $40, right? So I think that's how I would look as a comparable just from a price point standpoint. But I like those.
I've had a lot of tequilas in my day. I'm not a tequila guy now. But is gin? I've never had gin. Is gin like really sweet, or what's up with gin?
I drank gin one time in college, and I don't want to talk about it again.
But is it? But what is it though? Is it like really sweet? Is it like? Is it? What do you?
I think it's like a dry.
What is it
In-
kind of like?
It's clear, so I can't imagine it's sweet because they don't age it anything.
Yeah, I think it's like I think gin is kind of a dry. I don't know.
I've never had it either.
Yeah,
Man, so I mean, if you like gin and it's dry like that, I mean, so my angle on this was exactly that: is try to see what is it that you like about the tequila. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is it the because some are light, some are heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like some are more viscous than others, some are sweeter than others. 100%, right?
Right.
Like, what is it that you like about the tequila? Do you like that it's like that it's burny? Do you like the taste? Do you like the sweet? Do you like what is it that you like about it? And I would say go after something like that. So like if they say, oh, I really like tequilas that are really sweet, like that new G4 or maybe some of those Fortalezas or whatever. Or what kind of tequila? Are you looking at blancos? Are you looking at like añejos, reposados, like those that are kind of brownish, that are more, you know what I'm saying? Like the blancos are really sweet.
No, I don't
like
know
the 1800s.
I don't drink tequila.
I don't know anything about tequila. I mean, like I said,
I drink rum and mostly whiskey, but I'll drink rum. But I don't know anything about rum either.
The thing about tequila is like, man,
makes your clothes fall off.
It does. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Like what happens, and
it makes my clothes fall off.
Yeah, I just can't do that.
It makes me do like backflips off of stuff. Ooh. That's why I don't drink it no more.
Yeah, that's rough.
But yeah, so my angle would have been like, so what do you like about it? Is it the sweet? Is it whatever? And kind of go that way on the whiskey or bourbon. Like I really do like the sweet, low proof stuff. Then yeah, absolutely, go with something cheaper, like Top Floor, something sweet and cheap like that. Top Floor.
Maybe like even an entry level Jim Beam.
Or maybe something that's finished in something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe even like a weeder, like the Penelope weeder. That's 30 something bucks. That's good. I mean, it's pretty sweet, cheap, easy to find. You can find pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
There's a couple other bottles that you can. I mean, I would probably stay away from all the other Buffalo Trace stuff. Other than, like I said, the benchmark stuff. Russells, I feel like any of the Russells, I feel like it's going to be a little tough for somebody starting out.
I think Wild Turkey is one of those things. It's like, it is so good that to appreciate it, you have kind of had to walk through the valley. You know what I mean? And you had to go through the the benchmarks and the Buffalo Traces and even some of the regular, Knob Creek offerings and the Jim Beams and the Jack Danielses. And then you get to Russell's and you're like, where's this been all my life?
Yeah. Yeah, once you get into it, for sure.
I also think, not 1792 small batch, but the other ones like Foolproof, Store Picks, definitely 12 year. I mean, 12 year is awesome if you can find it.
Yeah, that's
Bottled
that's
and Bond
great
is
stuff.
solid.
You know another thing that I just forgot about, and when I was looking at our shelves here, dude, Ben Holiday. Ben Holiday, not the Rick House, because that's gonna be a little strong.
Right.
It's like the Bottled and Bond 100 proof, like that red wheat one.
Yeah, but I don't know that Ben Holiday is as available as you think, because when I came to Florida, I hadn't seen it in a lot of places, and even so, I mean, we've got all four of them here, but it's still very selective. They may have one bottle on the shelf and this and that. I don't know that it's readily available to everyone.
Those are delicious, though, man.
They are good. They're really good. Yeah,
very good.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that answers your question. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, 1792. That was my input.
Oh, that was your input.
Like I agree. Not necessarily small batch, but if you can find like Foolproof, especially the Store Picks, because I feel like every Store Pick we've
there's
got
been a couple of Bottled and Bond Store Picks.
Bottled and Bond is another one.
Ooh, fire, man.
Like Single Barrel.
Fire.
Sweet Wheat. I know you guys disagree with me. I just think that's overhyped. But if you can find it at MSRP, it's probably pretty good.
Sweet Wheat's good if you find it for the $50.
Don't do what we did and pay 3 times what you should have.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just to complete the collection, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it showed up everywhere.
But
actually, I heard they had Sweet Wheat at Total Wine in Daytona last weekend.
Man.
For $40.
Yeah, but hopefully that answers your question. I mean, I think there's no right or wrong answer. I think that it is something that you just have to talk to the customers. You have to talk to people and kind of hear what they like. And, as Mike was referring to, what do you like about the certain things to kind of that would then tailor what you actually, offer somebody or recommend.
And listen to them unless they tell you Woodford.
If somebody says that they like Woodford because it's classy, then I don't know what to say about that.
Also, in one of the past episodes, we've talked about. I asked the question of, man, Woodford makes a rye, and they make one rye that I've never seen in my life,
and it is not good.
I've never.
I had it on that cruise.
I've not had it. Yeah, but they do make one. They make a rye. Yeah.
Yep.
Because after that episode, the competitive in me, I was like,
"Oh, you got to find it."
Yeah. I'm like, they're wrong. I've never seen a Woodford.
Gotta go.
I could have bought it for you on that boat,
and I did find it. I found it. I've never seen it, but I found it online.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, we appreciate the comment. Thanks for everybody that if you have something, throw it out there. We'll talk about it here, and we'll try to answer it to the best or worst of our ability. And with that said, I think we're going to transition here to something that we're really excited about as the Whiskey Wisemen. I mean, we haven't been doing this very long, but we are excited to say that we have 114 subscribers.
114,
which is
the time we started today.
Yes,
this podcast we hit 114
in 3 weeks. We started this 3 weeks ago.
So all because of you all.
Yep, and we appreciate it. So, kind of in celebration of that and the excitement, we have a Russell's 13, which is 114 proof.
The number of subscribers that we had in this episode, guys.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, so we're excited to open this up here for us to enjoy, and as a thank you, appreciate everything you guys are doing and the views and the
keep sharing
the likes,
it out,
comments,
keep
everything.
Commenting.
You know what we should do? We should do something about whoever comments maybe first on this. They get like a 1 ounce sample of this.
Oh, that I guess we can do that. I mean,
you can do whatever we want. It's our podcast, guys.
That's true.
I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Or should we do or should we pick a number like the number 10?
Number 14.
Number 14.
That is good.
Number 14th comment on this video, regardless on how long it takes.
Yeah.
We'll get.
Or 114th.
Well, we also have to make sure.
That's rough.
Your age will need to be verified. 21
That is true. Yes. Would get a sample of this, preferably if you're local. That'd be awesome. Yep. We can share it, honestly. So, excuse me. But yeah, so Russell's 13. We've had this before. It's very good.
It's a great bottle.
Look at John. John's like a little baby, like.
And I overpaid for mine because I had already tasted it.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
And it is totally worth it.
Hang on. I got to get the pop.
Nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
That is so good.
No, I was just going to say it's such a good one. So you were talking about Russell's a minute ago, but you have like the 13, the 15, the Rickhouse.
We are going to have a
Russell's night.
We are going to have a Russell's night where we do 13, 15, and
Camp Nelson
and the and the Rick houses because we have them all.
We could actually do a whole Camp Nelson episode and then do 13, 15, 10.
That is true.
As a separate episode.
Yeah, because I mean we have just about all the Camp Nelsons, right?
Yeah, we got B, F, and E, right?
Yeah.
Don't we have them all?
Man, that smells
it smells awesome, dude.
It does. I don't know.
I haven't had this in a while, but I'm like, why haven't I? I should open mine.
Yeah, the thing about it is we had this, the 13. It took me a long time to bite the bullet to get one of these. And I finally did, and I was really happy about it until I got a Russell's 15.
That did happen. You were and it wasn't long after that. I remember because you got it, and then like a month or so later, Mike says, "Well, I got 15."
Yeah.
And then we tried that.
Yeah, and then it's like 13's garbage.
No, 13's real good.
I mean, look, compared to 15, it's not garbage.
No.
But I think 15's better.
I think it's amazing what 2 years did.
But this is, I mean, this is nowhere. This is not. You can't mess around with this, dude.
Yeah, so I think this is maybe batch 3 or 4.
I don't even know. Does it say it on there?
Yeah, I think this is batch 3 or 4 that we got on the Russell's 13. I'd love to hear if anybody out there has had batch 1 of the Russell's 13.
That's right.
I heard that was
we've never had one.
A really good one. So if anybody out there that's had the batch 1, give us a shout. Let us know how it was and how it compares to if you had batch 2, 3, or 4. We'd like to know. is there a difference? Better or worse?
When the batch numbers are different and they taste different, what do you think? I mean, what's responsible for that for our listeners? Where it's at in the rick house, high, low.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything goes into it. I mean, they try to be
the same recipe and the same age statement.
Yeah, but it's different barrels. I think it's all going to be kind of
and placement. Too.
Blended into a batch release, and I think that's the difference. Right?
This doesn't say batch on it.
Yeah, so
you have to read the
the
laser.
Yeah, you got to the laser on the side, and then some of them are you can pull it up. I think even on Wild Turkey's.
I got my contacts on today, and I can't read for
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is really good, but it's Russell's. I mean, what's the old saying, Joe? You say whenever you have Russell's, it's like it's time to get what?
Russell.
Oh, time to get
Russell. We made it up when we had that Russell's 15. Where, because I think Mike came over.
That was at your house.
Yeah, you brought it over, and you're like, you ready to get rustled?
And it just became a joke that you're going to get rustled. Yeah. But it was awesome. We still do that
But
joke.
I think we meant it, though, as in, like, you're about to taste something real delicious.
Yeah. No, dude, that
and it was. It lived up to the hype,
dude,
for
even
sure.
the color on this.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much more, like golden brown
you're right, man.
than
It must
both
be
of those.
lasered in here, because it's not on there.
Yeah, so something for me when I have Russell's, like especially the 13 or any of the really good barrel picks and things like that, I just think about like a campfire and everybody just sitting around. It just, I don't know what it is about the Wild Turkey profile, but it's very relaxing. I mean, it just really is. It's like one of those bourbons that you can just kind of sip on. And you just kind of melt away, like into whatever. And I just I don't know.
It has a savoring feel too, where you just want to.
Dude, it just lingers.
Yeah.
Lingers. Like the finish is like.
You're like, I don't want this to be over.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like for me, that's the way I feel about it. I think having a special wood burning fire, and getting the smell of the fire and kind of a little bit of that smoke and everything else, it's.
Yeah,
I love it.
And then you got to wash your clothes because they stink.
What do you think Russell's will come out with this year? You think it'll be like 18 or 20 years?
No,
I think
they're going to come out with 15 like batch 2 though.
Yeah,
they'll
probably
definitely do that. I think.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
you think they're going to have something higher?
The way they're pricing those Camp Nelsons, like it's money, man. They could come out with an 18 and sell that for $400 and probably make money off of it.
I don't know that they can.
I don't
you
know.
think they have the stock to do an 18?
Well, the bourbon.
It's 3 more years in the 15 barrels, and I mean.
Yeah, the balloon is starting to kind of burst on the high end secondary prices and things like that. I mean, you're going to see it start to come down. I feel like they're probably going to be just like the Russell's 13. I think they came out with like 4 batches before they released the 15. So you may see 15 come out in a couple batches before they do 17, or they tend to like the odd years, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe not 16, but 17. We might see in a year or two, but I do think that batch
15 was almost a year
ago
ago though that it came out, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's been about a year, yeah.
Yeah.
And that bottle is still really hard to get.
So if they held back, a couple barrels of that.
One thing I will say, honestly, one negative about Wild Turkey is their website is the worst website of.
You mean for releases?
For anything.
Yeah.
Any release they do, you go to that website and that thing crashes. But
you open it and it crashes.
If you're a listener, though, and you've ever gone to their website when they had a release and you got through, we want to hear from you.
Let us know, because we want to know how you did it.
We want to know how that all worked, because people must be getting them. Yeah. You see it.
Somebody's getting them.
I ordered it, But I swear, man, all of us have gone to that website, and I've refreshed and refreshed. Doesn't matter. That thing just crashes. And then you get it in your cart, and then it crashes.
Yeah, you got it in the cart one time. I never did. I don't think
I've gotten it into the cart a few times.
Yeah,
I never able to go through. Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, that was kind of garbage.
Just crazy.
Same thing with that other site, like Baxis or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that was pretty terrible.
Let's not knock them; they could sponsor us.
Hey, if they sponsor us, look. The good thing about our podcast is that we're freaking real, man.
Yeah.
Like, look, if we've had a bad experience, we're not going to sit here and blow sunshine.
I've never tried to do the experience on the Baxis though. I know that they send the emails out, but I don't because they're affiliated.
Baxter's the one we did that had the. I think it was one of these. I think it was Russell's.
Yeah, I signed up for the thing, but then I never heard anything after that. So
well, I tried it and it was the same thing.
It did the same thing?
Yeah, it was like crashing and crashing. It wouldn't let me do anything.
No, I signed up where they were like, "We'll alert you when it becomes available," and then I never got an email. So.
Yeah, well, it was pretty.
Which I guess is just as bad, but
yeah. So.
Very good.
Russell's 13.
So thank you to the 114 that allowed us to crack this one open.
Yeah.
And enjoy it because it's been about a year since I had this. Pretty delicious.
This is delicious stuff, man.
Yeah, so guys, well, I guess this is a good segue to close this one up. But, thank you everyone who has, watched the videos that we have out. You liked, you've commented, you subscribed. We appreciate it. We're open to your feedback. Love to hear from you. Good or bad. If you think we're a bunch of stinkers, that's fine too.
Hopefully not, but yeah.
Yeah, hopefully not. But I mean, we're as Mike said, we're going to talk about what's real, how we feel, good or bad.
And if we don't have listeners, we don't have a show. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, we're not going to say that we're going to cater because we are, we're pretty true to who we are, but. If there's things you would like for us to talk about and kind of be honest about it, we're open to it. So, any closing comments, Joe or Mike?
No, just been a fun journey. I'm looking forward to a lot more. Hopefully we can provide some value. Hopefully you learn things, find it entertaining. And if you don't, we want to hear that too, so that we can be even more authentic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, anything helps. To give us more ideas. There's a lot more coming as far as content with, different bottles and blinds and all kinds of stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff on the back end. But we are getting a lot of views, like a couple thousand views on all the videos and shorts and that kind of stuff. So obviously people like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and I'll add like, comment, subscribe, because that's the only way other people are going to hear about us. So
100%.
Share the videos out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and another one thing I was going to say too, that speaking of that, if you see us out at the what is it, Bogies and Bourbon, we're gonna have a nice tent out there for
that's right
for that event at the golf course. So if you kind of see us out there, give us a like.
Come say hi.
Yeah, come
we
say
hi.
Meet y'all. Yep. Yeah, love to meet everybody in person. So.
Yeah, and we're gonna have I didn't even tell you guys, we're gonna have free pours.
Free pours.
Free pours.
You heard it here.
I love learning.
Heard it here first.
I love learning stuff on my own podcast.
Yeah.
That's right. You heard it here first.
We're gonna have free pours. I didn't tell you guys. We'll tell you off camera, but yeah, we're gonna have some free pours. We got some free bottles from a couple of places, and
sweet.
And we'll have some stuff to give out for
Good
sure.
Deal.
So
awesome.
Thanks for the support.
Thanks everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
No bucket today.
No bucket.
No bucket.
All good pours.
That's so good.